Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. It's for Sunday, September 28th. We are now just 12 days away from the start of the season. So pumped. All right, so today we're going to continue our team previews. We're going to look at the three more Western teams in the Empire Division, that being the Indiana Sentinels, the Huron Prowlers, and Topeka Scarecrows. And of course, two of these teams are new. Last year, we had, along with the Prowlers, we had the Dashers and the Rockers. Rockers are, of course, they are in slumber, so to speak, dormant for this upcoming season, but already working on things for the 2026 to 27 season and well on their way to getting everything secured and done that they need to do. So I would fully expect them to be back in the fold for next season. All right, but as far as this upcoming season goes, well, okay, let's take a look first at the Indiana Sentinels. A little bit of an enigma in that there really wasn't a lot of news over the summer that came out, at least as far as the team itself, the roster that was getting built up. And so things have been coming in a little bit later, but things are now getting reported and put out there. So, of course, we have the coaching change. Kurt Walston was supposed to be the coach, physically could not be there. And so the team went with Jack Hudak as their coach, which, don't forget, this upcoming Friday, I will be airing the video or the interview that I did with him. Make sure to tune in for that. All right, so with the Sentinels, of course, they're in a smaller barn, playing in Columbus, Indiana, which, if you don't know, is about not even an hour, maybe like about 50 minutes south of Indianapolis. So pretty much a straight shot down there. So we have on their roster this year. This is a sampling of some of the players that you will see. Lester Brown, foremost. He has been kind of holding things together on the ice, at least in the interim until Jack Hudak came in. He was basically making sure everything was running smoothly as far as getting players in, recruiting players, and just kind of piecing everything together on the ice. He will be the assistant coach this year. He is also going to be playing probably the most talented player. This as far as raw talent, well, one of the most talented. He has been around the Fed for quite a while, quite a few years, on and off since 2014. So he knows not just the game on the ice, but he also knows the game off the ice. And yeah, it's a game, but he knows how to play it. All right, so Brown is he's played for 127 games total in his Fed career, 117 points. So he's pretty close to a point per game. Another person they brought in, Chris Hunt. The last time we saw him, I believe, was Mississippi, if I remember correctly. 46 points in 55 Fed games played. He has some nifty stick work, let me tell you. One thing I remember of him when he was with the Elmira Mammoth is that his stick handling, he's one of the better puck possession guys in the league. So once he gets possession, he knows some pretty nifty moves. Let's see, Darius Davidson. He's been out of the Fed for a year. He is coming back. He is a point per game player. So very excited to see him. dress again and play, because I thought we just kind of saw the tip of the iceberg with him. One of the defensive men, Connor Mullins, played last year for the Dashers, was one of the Dashers' better defensive men. Yes, the Dashers struggled, but Mullins was a pretty solid guy. Especially in his own end. He's not going to give you a bunch of stats, but he's going to give you steady play in the defensive zone, which is the primary thing that you want from a defensive man. Even Ivan Panavarov, he is now with the Sentinels. Of course, last year he was with the HC Venom and had a very decent year. 18 points in 46 games played, physical presence, but also can move the puck well, and contribute offensively. So I think that's a big key. And goaltending, Parker Rutherford is back. He goes from the Dashers, where he was the glue for the team, no doubt. His numbers don't really share how dynamic of a player that he is. Obviously the Dashers struggled a lot. 331-3 was his record. 534 goals against, 891 save percentage. But he faced 60 shots on goal or more. I believe it was 7 times last year. So yeah, he saw a lot of rubber. I don't think he's going to be seeing that many shots this year. I think there's going to be a little bit better defensive structure with the Sentinels. Bryn Sommerfeld will most likely be his battery mate. Sommerfeld, of course, last year backed up for the Motor City Rockers. And then one player that they have coming in that they're very excited about, Ruslan Gospodinko. He comes in from Russia. He's played in the VHL, which is the second highest league in Russia. So the guy's got some talent. He also played for a number of teams internationally. So he's not a spanking brand new rookie. He's just new to the Fed. So you look at this team. Now, this team got a very late start with things. The team wasn't even introduced until the second week in May. There were a lot of obstacles to overcome. I think now that they're kind of hitting their stride as an organization as far as getting everything done that needs to get done. Unfortunately, I'll just say it because it's true. They got shafted in the draft. Okay, instead of alternating picks with Topeka, Topeka picked 12 first, and then the Sentinels got the second 12. So obviously, the best players that were available were already gone. They did not have access to the very best players. So that was a strike against them, and it was completely out of their control. Many of the players that they had picked up came from the dispersal draft. They did pick up a number of good players there. And the key right now is they're building for the future. This is a brand new market for pro hockey. They've had high school hockey there for a number of years. They've had hockey there for almost 50 years. But this is the first go around as far as a pro team. The team's going to struggle. Are they going to be as bad as the Dashers? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're going to be better off there. Unfortunately, the Dashers did not have ownership actively involved, whereas Indiana does. So that's a big difference right there. But yeah, they're looking to make a splash, get their name out there, build brand recognition, really get out in the community. So I think they're probably going to be your 7th place team, but they're not going to be a 3-win team. So we'll see how they do. If the stars align and everything goes well, I think they could finish 6th. We'll see how things go. All right, let's move on to the Port Huron Prowlers. Prowlers are I can't say an up-and-coming team because they've been steadily improving every year over the last 4 years. About 4 years ago, they kind of bottomed out. Had a team that only won 18 games in the whole year. And now they are a legitimate cup contender. They have 15 players returning from last year's squad. The new players that they have coming in are very high caliber players. They've drafted well, or not drafted. They've recruited well. Um, I see good things for the Prowlers this year. Last year, they went 32, 18, and 6, which was third in the Empire Division. That was sixth overall in the league. They're just behind the Hat Tricks, and then they ended up beating the Hat Tricks in the playoffs, losing to Binghamton in the semifinals. So some of the players you'll see coming back. I want to talk a minute about Matt Graham. Of course, he's been doing it all for Port Huron over the last few years. He's the coach. He's the GM. He takes care of almost everything that needs to be taken care of in the front office. He's like their administrative superstar, and he's a pretty darn good player. Through 531 points career. That is third all time in the FPHL. If he gets 56 points this year, point per game, he would surpass Tyler Jurich and become the number 2 player all time in the FPHL. Is that possible? Absolutely. Graham is a very good player, especially with seeing the ice, dishing the puck to a potential goal scorer. He's got 369 assists on the year. Fantastic. Austin Federley, he's the captain. He is back for his 10th season as a Prowler. 315 games played, 238 career points. You have Reggie Millette, who was really the first guy to come in last year that transformed a mainly defensive team into an offensive threat. He was not the only one. He was one of many that came in that suddenly transformed the Prowlers into a team that knew how to score. So he had 54 points on the year. On the back end, you've got Alex Johnson, just signed Saturday officially. We all knew he was going to come back, but he also has been helping Matt out in the office, taking care of things. He's the assistant GM, assistant coach, and pretty good defenseman. 315 career points in 404 games played. This is a veteran team. You have some youngsters like Ben Brockway. And I found it very interesting that yesterday Port Huron played the clip on their page of Ben Brockway's statement in Danbury last year, setting up things for October 10th. That game is going to be explosive, I can tell you. So I am really looking forward. I will be in Binghamton, but I'm going to be having the Danbury Port Huron game on my laptop watching as well. So, yeah, that's a big game. 75 penalty minutes in 32 games played, a big physical presence, handles the puck very well, particularly in his own end. Then you have in goal, you've got probably, either the first or second best tandem in the league in Reed Cooper and Valtteri Nusiainen. Cooper was a 286 goals against, 906 save percentage. Nusiainen, 216 goals against. 266 goals against, a 912 save percentage and a shutout. Excellent performance. And then, of course, they're also excited to have Lucas Lackney back, just signed about a week ago. 47 points, 20 goals in just 30 games played. So he really had a big impact offensively with the Prowlers. This is not a one-dimensional team. So this is a team that has been solid with defense and goaltending for years, and now they've added offensive punch as well. So, yeah, they are a cup contender. I think if everything goes right for the Prowlers, Binghamton has some injury issues or something like that, I could see the Prowlers being able to finish first in the Empire Division. Worst case, things kind of fall apart. I still see them no lower than fourth. Overall, I think most likely, I think you're looking at a second place finish behind Binghamton. We'll see what happens. Topeka, let's take a look at them. Of course, first year team. You have Robbie Nichols handling the coaching and GM duties, already working with the players. And Topeka is really, really enthusiastic about this team coming in. They're very well marketed. Topeka, they got their start back in January, really. Even before the team was officially announced by the FPHL, they were already starting with working with the community and getting corporate sponsorships and all that kind of stuff in January. So they've had a very good year just getting set up and ready to go on the ice. So first year team, obviously. Some of the players that you'll be seeing: Scotty Koash, 147 games played, 171 points, and he's a plus 40, so he's also defensively responsible. You have Carter Thornton, just the second player ever to come into the organization. Justin Schmidt signed first, and then you had Carter Thornton come in by trade. Over 107 games, he has 42 goals and 95 points. Very speedy player. He's very dangerous in shorthanded situations. He's great on the forecheck. You have Elijah Wilson, who had a great season in Baton Rouge last year, earned himself a brief call-up to the SP. 124 points in 133 games career. On the back end, no slouch there. Doug Blaisdell, 16 assists and 27 games played in the FPHL. No, I'm looking at the wrong stat. No, that is correct. He's played the majority of his career in the SPHL, but it looks like he's pretty much committed to Topeka this year. They're very excited about getting Zach Papapetros from Athens. Papapetros didn't play in a lot of games, 12 games played all told, but he had 7 points, and more importantly, in just 12 games, he was a plus 9. So I think he's going to be a defensive superstar. Papapetros, great addition to Topeka. Of course, they've got Sammy Bernard as the main goaltender, one of the best in the league. 21, 12, and 2 last year with a 238 goals against, a 912 save percentage, and a couple shutouts. And they have Brady Dyer, who played last year in the GMHL with Northumberland. He right now looks slated to be the backup. And of course, they're also very excited. I know Robbie Nichols is very excited about having Quinn O'Reilly on. Quinn O'Reilly is like the success story for the APHL this year, coming into the Fed. Of course, O'Reilly got his chance midway through the season with the Dashers last year, and he really, really performed well. 11 points in 24 games played, 66 penalty minutes. He's a rat, and I'm not saying that negatively. I'm saying that just that's a style of play. That's his game. He is very much like Brad Marchand on the Fed level. So, and I know that kind of gritty play really excites Nichols. He's got a team that promises to be extremely physical, extremely hard to play against. Now, the priority that has been talked about on social media and whatnot, and YouTube, is that the team has prioritized getting players moved up to primarily the ECHL. With their location, they're a lot closer to ECHL clubs than they are to SP teams. So if there are call-ups with this club, yeah, it's most likely going to be to the coast rather than the SP. But that seems to be a big priority, and that's well and good. That's great. That definitely draws players to your team because they're looking at things like, hey, I've got a good chance at moving up if I play for Topeka. I do wonder, though, how much chemistry and how much stability there's going to be on the roster, though. We're not going to know until we get into the season and get playing games. The team drafted very well. Of course, they got the first 13 picks. And overall, they drafted well. They ended up taking a couple of dead contracts, players that just aren't going to play there. But they've been able to make a couple of trades to help booster their lineup. So it's going to be very interesting. Continuity is the key with Topeka as far as how they do. Again, they're not going to be an easy club to play against. They're going to be very physical. They plan on utilizing their speed, especially on the outside. So I look at them, compare them to the other teams, the other rosters in the division, and I see they could probably finish as high as third. I don't think they're going to get past Binghamton or the Prowlers. Now, they have a chance to play the Prowlers quite a bit, so they control that fate within their own hands. But I'm thinking probably the best is third. If everything just falls apart and just doesn't go according to plan, the worst I see them going is sixth, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think most likely you're probably going to see them in a fifth place finish, which is a playoff spot. They would qualify for the play-in round if that's where they end up finishing up. Again, this is most likely, this is my prognostication, okay, just my speculation. I'm taking an educated guess. I'm not saying this is where the teams are finishing. But as I look at it, one moment, please. This is what I think is most likely as far as the order of finish. Once we get to the middle of April, I'm thinking this is the most likely scenario as far as how teams finish up. But again, it's just prognostication. It's just a guess. Now, I do find it interesting that I've heard several other members of the media, particularly for the Southern teams, the Continental Division teams, looking at the Empire, and they've echoed this. So this is not just my take. The Empire Division has been the easier one to kind of get a beat on. Continental, which we'll cover next week, that's going to be really, really, really tough to call. So when we get to our prognostications next weekend, I could end up looking either very good at the end of the year or looking like an idiot. And I admit that. I acknowledge that that is a possibility. We'll do our best to try and slot everyone in, but I think the Continental Division is going to be a lot more fiercely contested than the Empire Division. So anyway, there you go. That is the conclusion of our Empire Division previews. So next we have coming up here on YouTube, News and Notes, of course, Wednesday. Make sure to tune in for that, talking a little bit more about Twin City, a little bit more about some of the other things going on in the league. And also, we got on Friday, I will be releasing an interview with Jack Hudick, head coach for the Indiana Sentinels. I had the opportunity to sit down with him and record. We'll be putting that on next Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we'll cover the Continental Division in this form. We'll start off on Saturday with the Southeastern teams. That would be Twin City, Columbus, Athens, and PD. And then we'll do Biloxi, Baton Rouge, and Monroe on Sunday. All right, so make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell as well so you know when videos are up and posted. And please make sure to follow me on Facebook. That's where all the news gets posted as it happens, or as close to when it happens. I'm usually within a couple hours of news getting out, relay information to there. All right, I am Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Thank you so much for supporting me and watching and tuning in, and we will catch you guys again on Wednesday, news and notes. Have a great rest of the weekend, guys.